Yeah, I'm here. Can you listen to me?
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, okay. I'll share my screen. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now I'm start. And good afternoon, professor and peers. I'm Shi-Le. You also can call my English name Vincent. And now I'm going to present my research. The research title is Exploring the Value Creation Process of NFT creators in creator economy based on the perceived value of China's customer personas. And when we talking about the NFT, there is an auction we have to mention. That's the NFT of every day, the first 5,000 of days. That NFT sold out for 69.3 million. From that also made from Beeple, and from that on the NFT suddenly become popular. And so what's NFT? The NFT's full name is non-fungible token, and NFT is an application of blockchain technology, and just use the digital art record into the blockchain and then become the NFT, which have the character of unique, non-interchangeable, and non-divisible. And here also have the opposite word is called a fungible token, and just like our currency, and they have a character of uniform, interchangeable, and divisible, and you can change interchange with others, and also it can separate into lots of small currency. And after the NFT was born, it actually empowered lots of industries, like such as the game, the collectibles, and the music and photography. Yeah, and the sales of the NFT is already high. There have lots of blockchain, and one of the blockchain is called Ethereum, and now the sales volume is already over 355 billion, and the buyers is already over 1.8 million people. And the NFT also brought lots of innovative business model. The creator fee is one of them, which means the creator can get specific ratio from the transaction between the buyers after the creator sold the NFT. Yeah, that means even the creator already sold the NFT, she or he still can get a specific money from the next transaction. And the correctors already earned over 1 billion using OpenSea platform in last year, which is in 2022. And the NFT in China also is popular. For the left slide picture NFT, after it launched, it sold within 1 second. And the expert also predict the market size will reach around 30 billion RMB in 2026. And but the NFT industry is very influenced by the policy, such as the policy is trying to remove the financial attributes and focus on the value of NFT. Also, following the previous policy, the cryptocurrency is already illegal in China. So China's NFT market use the fiat money for transaction. So the market is kind of special, and which is also different between the global market. And that's the first reason why I choose the China as the research scenario. And the second reason is from the figure we can see the China had the highest search volume around the theme of NFT in Q3 in 2022. And the third reason is here is also still a blank academic research. yeah, that's why I choose this as scenario research scenario. And this slide is about the NFT ecosystem, about China market. And after we can see from the figure after the creator design and meet the NFT, the creators can buy them in primary market, and the customer also can sell the NFT in secondary market. So the customer is a kind of essential role in this ecosystem, but almost none of the research to talking about the customer. So this research, I will focus on the customer perspective and try to give the suggestions to the creator. And my research motivation from the academic motivation, I try to bridge the research gap. And for my personal motivation, I have several projects about NFT. And the more I learn about NFT, and the more I attracted by this field. So I want to dig deeper of this field. And here is my research objective and research question. And for my research objective, first one is I want to explore the NFT ecosystem and the stakeholders in China market and identify the difference from the global market. Yeah, and the second, I will focus on the customer side. I try to separate. I try to classify the customer into several personas and also find the perceived value behind these personas. And the third is I try to give the suggestion to the creator follow the perceived value of this persona. And I will use the value creation process, which is a series of the NFT meeting, and I will explain more of this word later. And the literature map I will use, I will more emphasize are the NFT creator economy and perceived value and personas, and also some sub terms connect to them. And the NFT ecosystem of the global market here can very generally categorized as creator, intermediaries, and the customers. But we are in Web 2 era now. In Web 2 era, the intermediaries' power is kind of strong because they have our creators' data and they can determine the content exposure and even the revenue of the creators. But in NFT industry, the creators try to rely less or even bypass the intermediaries, because some rule they can achieve by the smart contract, which is the program can help us to finish that job. And the creator and the creator economy creator here is someone who produce content for the internet. And the creator economy is they can have the economy income generated by the internet content. Also they can use some tools and platform to get it. And the web also evolved 3 times, and the web 1.0, the character is just re-rolling, and the web 2, which is we are now user and we can read, also can write, which means we can interact with the content. And the web 3, we can have our own data. And but the trend here is more and the threshold of creation is decreasing and decreasing, and we are emerging more and more individual creators, and everyone can create content more diversity, and creators get more revenue also. And the value creation process I use in the title, which means it is the process of minting NFT, and the process can divide into ideation, designing, mining, training, and engagement. I will follow this step to give the creators suggestion based on the personas perceived value. And here also is secondary data from the China's customer profile, and we can see the here have the city and the gender and the attitude to the NFT, and we can see from here around 80% they love an NFT for pursuing particular IP, and almost 50% they consider NFT is an investment. So it is kind of diversity. So it's necessary to use the persona to investigate more about the customers. And here is my research phrase. I divide into 3 phases based on the research objective. And now I already finished the. I'm still in the phase 2, which is I'm still analyzes that data which is from the questionnaire. And for the research objective 1, I will find the difference between the China and the global market and which contain the ecosystem and stakeholders. And for the phase 2, I will from the secondary data literature review and the interview to try to find the factors that influence the customer to buy the NFT, and use these factors to generate questionnaire and to collect the questionnaire data. And after that, I will use the cluster analysis to analyze this data and try to generate the different persona and get the perceived value based this persona. And the phase 3, I will provide the value creation process for the NFT creators. And because I'm still analyzes that data, so here is my anticipated results. The first, I can get the NFT industry difference between China and the global market. And the second is from the questionnaire, I will get the persona and also got the perceived value as well. And after that, I will based on the perceived value for each persona to give the suggestions for the creators and try to get the creator more closer to their customers. Yeah, here is my some of my reference. Yeah, that's all of my presentation. Thanks for your time.